Thank you, Chief Secretary and members of the Fourth Estate. Cabinet considered and approved the National Energy Efficiency Policy as presented by the Minister of Finance and Economic Development, Honorable Professor Muswere, who is also the Chairman of the Cabinet Committee on National Development Planning. The overall goal of the National Energy Efficiency Policy is to institute energy efficiency programs in order to promote sustainable development as the country transitions to an upper middle income society in line with the objectives of Vision 2030. The policy is built on the principles of development, sustainability, affordability, accessibility, gender equality, and employment creation. The objectives that will be employed to stimulate energy efficiency are as follows: to promote and ensure a comprehensive, integrated, and well-informed energy efficiency strategy for effective socio-economic development, to establish the roles and responsibilities for implementing various energy efficiency initiatives and interventions in the country, and to provide a framework for setting targets relating to various energy efficiency interventions in the residential, commercial, mining, transport, agriculture, and industrial sectors. Cabinet advises that the government of Zimbabwe shall develop an Energy Efficiency Act and appropriate regulations, as well as a National Energy Efficiency Strategy and Action Plan, which will assist in the achievements of low carbon development modalities and climate resilient energy efficient systems. Furthermore, mandatory energy efficiency audits conducted by approved and certified energy auditors shall be prescribed. Minimum energy performance standards and regulations will also be established and developed for selected energy end users. The government shall mandate intensive energy users and encourage other industrial users to be certified by a recognized energy management standard, such as the energy management systems. The Minister of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, Honorable Kazembe, presented a proposal for hosting the Eastern and Southern Africa Regional Branch of the International Council of Archives, which was approved by Cabinet. The Minister of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage informed Cabinet that Zimbabwe was requested to host the Eastern and Southern Africa Regional Branch of the International Council of Archives in 2025. The conference is held biannually on a rotational basis by member countries, with the objective of advancing archives management through regional cooperation. The decision to nominate Zimbabwe was largely informed by the success of the 2015 conference hosted by Zimbabwe in Victoria Falls. A total of 600 delegates are expected to attend the conference. The benefits to be accrued from hosting the conference include the following: the marketing of Zimbabwe as a prime tourism destination, increased foreign currency earnings from delegates from the 24 member countries, and the provision of €5,000 by the International Council of Archives to assist with the hosting of the conference. Cabinet received a presentation from the Minister of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, Honorable Kazembe, on the principles to amend and strengthen the Firearms Act, Chapter 10.09, which was approved. The amendments seek to regulate the registration and licensing of firearms and the establishment of a firearms database and registry. The amendment bill will make provision for the classification of firearms certificates to differentiate those issued to individuals and juristic persons. The amendments will also seek, among other things, to introduce psychological and training tests before one is issued with a firearms certificate, place age restriction on possession of firearms, to regulate the number of firearms per person and the purpose, to provide for the profiling of all firearms for purposes of ease identification and tracing thereof, and to specify the penalties for firearm offenses, including the failure to properly secure firearms. Cabinet considered and approved the proposed priority projects for the third 100-day cycle of 2024 as presented by the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Honorable Ziambi, on behalf of the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs and Devolution in the Office of the President and Cabinet. A total of 192 projects were submitted for implementation under the third 100-day cycle of 2024, which commenced on the 4th of September 2024 and scheduled to end on the 13th of December 2024. The disaggregation of the projects by province is as follows: Harare Metropolitan Province 75, Mashonaland East 57 projects, Bulawayo Metropolitan Province 42 projects, Mashonaland West 60 projects, Mashingo 56 projects, Mashonaland Central 57 projects, Midlands Province 58 projects, Matabeleland North 59 projects, Manicaland Province 63 projects, Matabeleland South 50 projects. Some of the projects were replicated at different sites across provinces under the image building, international engagement and re-engagement pillar. Projects on the rehabilitation of infrastructure at foreign missions is being prioritized and distributed as follows: Nigeria 3, Germany 1, United Kingdom 1, Rwanda 1, South Africa 1, and Kenya 1. The 192 projects are clustered according to the 14 thematic areas of the National Development Strategy 1 as follows: Devolution and Decentralization, 12 projects; the Digital Economy, 12 projects; Economic Growth and Stability, 17 projects; Environmental Protection, Climate Resilience and Natural Resources Management, 6 projects; Governance, 21 projects; Health and Well-being, 7 projects; Housing Delivery, 8 projects; Human Capital Development and Innovation, 16 projects; Image Building, International Engagement and Re-engagement, 12 projects; Infrastructure and Utilities, 37 projects; Moving the Economy Up the Value Chain and Structural Transformation, 21 projects; Social Protection, 10 projects; Youth, Sport and Culture, 13 projects; Food and Nutrition Security, 12 projects. These projects have been included in totals of the respective thematic areas they contribute to, since they are cross-cutting in nature. The Special Advisor to the President on monitoring implementation of government programs will continue to monitor the projects also utilizing the executive electronic dashboard in collaboration with the Ministers of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution. Cabinet received a noted report on the visit to South Africa to officially open the 12th annual conference of speakers of African national and regional parliaments, the Pan-African Parliament, on the 18th of September 2024, as presented by the Honorable Vice President, Comrade KCD Mohadi. Cabinet advises that on the 18th of September 2024, the Honorable Vice President, Comrade KCD Mohadi, delivered a keynote address to mark the official opening of the 12th Annual Conference of Speakers of Parliament. In his keynote address, the Vice President called upon Pan-African Parliament to engage debates on the rising conflicts and insecurity of the continent, and to engage debates on how to expedite the deployment of science and technology and innovation to deal with challenges facing Africa today, and highlighted that none but ourselves will create the political and socio-economic environment we want as Africans, and to scale up advocacy for women and youth's development. The Vice President had also highlighted the fact that the government of Zimbabwe had successfully hosted the 44th Summit of SADC Heads of State and Government in August 2024, with support from both the region and the African Union. Cabinet received a report on the state visit to Mexico by the Honorable Vice President, Comrade KCD Mohadi, for the inauguration of the United Mexican State President-elect Ms. Claudia Sheinbaum, as presented by the Honorable Vice President. The nation is informed that the Honorable Vice President had attended the inauguration of the United Mexican States on the 1st of October 2024 at the Legislative Palace in the Mexico City on His Excellency the President, Dr. Idi Mnangagwa's behalf. The inauguration was attended by more than 100 foreign delegations, 16 of which were all at the heads of state and government level, mostly from the Americas region. Part of the deliberations revealed that there is need for economic cooperation between Zimbabwe and the United Mexican States, and that there is great need to identify areas of bilateral cooperation. It was also highlighted that the United Mexican States economy is expanding rapidly and would benefit from Zimbabwe's mineral resources, especially rare earth minerals, and also working together in order to reap the benefits accruing from the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. In terms of industry, the nation is informed that the United Mexican States is advanced in motor vehicle and general manufacturing, agriculture, oil and iron and steel, and therefore Zimbabwe can tap into the vast knowledge in order to improve, especially focusing on technology transfer modalities. Cabinet further advises that the administration will adopt a whole of Africa approach in its diplomatic thrust. The visit provided a foundation for kickstarting engagement and mutually beneficial cooperation in many sectors of the economy in which the United Mexican States has made achievements. Cabinet received and noted a report on the attendance of the celebration of the bicentenary and the 58th independence celebration of the Kingdom of Lesotho on the 4th of October 2024 in Maseru in Lesotho. as presented by the Honorable Vice President, Comrade KCD Mohadi. The Honorable Vice President represented His Excellency the President Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa at the celebrations to mark 200 years of the founding of the Basotho nation by King Moshoeshoe I and the 58th anniversary of Lesotho's independence on the 4th of October 2024. The celebrations, which were held under the theme Birth, Reflection, Revival, acknowledged the generational achievements of the Basotho nation. A significant milestone was the celebration of the birth and journey of Lesotho from 1824 to date, and most importantly, the celebration of the legacy of King Moshoeshoe I. In his speech, the Vice President congratulated the people of the Kingdom of Lesotho on significant milestones and reiterated that Zimbabwe and Lesotho enjoyed historic, cordial, and fraternal ties that were consolidated during the period of our liberation struggle. In his speech, His Majesty King Letsie III expressed gratitude for the support that Lesotho is getting from neighboring countries in its quest for a better economic and political environment. Cabinet approved as follows that Joint Permanent Commission on Cooperation as a legal framework to guide cooperation between Zimbabwe and Lesotho be put in place in the second quarter of 2025. That the Ministries of Sports, Recreation, Arts and Culture, and Tourism and Hospitality Industry exchange high-level visits to the cultural village of Basotho so that they can implement it in Zimbabwe, and also working together with the Basotho senior government officials on a framework that is going to attract tourism as a business. That Zimbabwe engages the Lesotho government relating to the initiation of an MOU in potential areas of cooperation. Cabinet considered and noted a report on the inaugural annual Africa Peace and Security Dialogue held in Gauteng, South Africa, from the 4th to the 6th of October 2024, as presented by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade. Cabinet advises that the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade attended the Thabo Mbeki Foundation inaugural annual Peace and Security Dialogue that was held in Gauteng, South Africa, from the 4th to the 6th of October 2024. The dialogue was held under the theme Towards a Peaceful and Secure Africa, Challenges and Opportunities. The objective of the annual Peace and Security Dialogue was to address the critical peace and security challenges facing the continent, with a special focus on the Sahel region and the Horn of Africa. Cabinet considered the report on the Zambia-Zimbabwe bilateral consultative meeting held in Livingstone, Zambia on the 18th of October 2024, as presented by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Honorable Professor Jenfan Muswere. The ministerial session of the bilateral consultative meeting, which was attended by the Zambian Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation and Zimbabwe's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, together with Zimbabwe and Zambia's ambassadors and senior government officials. The meeting discussed matters of mutual interest with the view to preserving and consolidating the excellent bilateral relations that have always existed between the countries. Cabinet wishes to reiterate that the relations between the two countries remain strong and excellent as ever. I thank you.